Hello everyone, this is a grumpy old guy gaming, and today I kind of want to take you behind the scenes and show you a little of what it's like for me as I continue to level up my Wavemaster Dionysius on the slow climb from 90 to 99. Alright, so here we are in NetSlum, Shining Darkness server in online play. And I've got my Wavemaster Dionysius. We're up to the 93rd level. You can see those hit points over 1700 and the SP pool inching ever closer to 400. I've gone on in the past in great lengths as to how I've built this character and why I've built this character. Uh, Long story short, this was a character I built as an homage to characters I would build when I was younger, and little else went into that, no actual gameplay thought whatsoever, and is therefore the most poorly statistically min-maxed character in fragment history. At this point, taking a look at the wands I'm running, I've got Moonstruck because I was playing in a party yesterday, and Moonstruck gives me some lower skills that I could use in party without just flat out annihilating enemies and depriving my party mates of experience while getting some hits in and getting some experience myself. It also gives me Muley, the charm ability, which sadly didn't come into play. Now you could see it's giving me a solid attack boost, 14 to magic attack, 17 to magic accuracy. But when I look at the Caduceus Rod giving me 21 magic attack and 12 accuracy, or the Staff of Truth 22 and 12, you may be scratching your head as to why I'm running it. Again, you don't want to be annihilating things in party play. You kind of want everyone to get a hit and still kill it quick. Also, if you take a look at my magic attack stat and accuracy, I'm so high up the chart that all of these are going to register as 99s just on my magical ability. That said, I'm not in a party today. I am very much soloing, so it's going to be the Caduceus Rod, and I need to reset some shortcuts. L2 and square and circle, is going to be my earth/wood slot, so I need Crake Fa there. L2 and triangle is darkness and light, so that's Lancier. And L2X is my fire and water, so Marrows goes there. Organzot for an earth spell, because I'm probably going to a level 98 field, and that gives me a shot at some Psyche Visions. You're going to see a lot of Psyche Visions at that level. You're going to see Gob Machines. You're going to see, I think Deadly Present is the highest form of Mimic, Madame Niagaras, Astra Kings, and Armor Generals. And that's pretty much the list. Make sure my elixirs and everything are up to 90. I like to leave a little bit of wiggle room in case I pull any out of chests. So we're good on 90, good on 90 Artisan Souls. Because honestly, Emperor Souls are crazy expensive, and I'm never going to have an SP pool with this character high enough to justify the need to buy them en masse. 90 Resurrects, but that won't really help me here. Got my Fortune Wires, Sprite Ocarinas, and rather than running over to the spell shop, I'll just see, yeah, I've got my Beastbane and my Speed Charm. Gonna refresh myself on Beastbane, it's R2 and Circle on this character, and I think I'm good to go here. Now, if I really wanted to maximize my experience for time, there is a field here, and I'm just going to show you the keywords, and I won't get too much further into this. This is an area you don't want to go into. I will say this flat out. You do not want to go to this field until you are a rather high level, but it will help with the high level grinding. For your time, it's probably the best experience per second, I would think, in that area. It's not the most exciting gameplay on the planet, so we're not actually going there. Plus, time as ever is a limited thing, and I kind of wanted to run something a little bit more entertaining for your time and mine. Um, but if you are looking to gain experience at the higher levels, this place will give it to you. It is built sort of in the vein of a grinding or farming dungeon from the crab slash shrimp server. Sorry, stumbled on the word there. As you are going to face one enemy in mobs, room after room after room. It is a difficult challenge. I would recommend definitely partying up and definitely being of a high level, but there is plenty of experience to be had at these keywords. That said, we're not going there. We're just going to random word for something level 98. That's clearly not it. 65's not going to give us any experience at this point. At this point, anything from 60 to 80 is just too big a risk. Zappa's Big Book of Mirror World sounds fun, but even at 85, you're maybe looking at one enemy that's giving you experience if you're lucky. I said 98, but I think we'll settle for Diablo's Squishy Duel. It's a level 95 water field, so let's warp in and see what we can do here. It's going to be a snowy field. We're in that upper echelon. We may not have the highest pool, but the item variety should be kind of neat. And we're starting right away with a portal right on us. And it's a Psyche Vision with a Wandering Madam Niagara. Let's just go ahead and let's take care of that Madam Niagara right away. Times like this, I wish I would have had Wavemaster rather than Organzot, but I don't really. Because, the Psyche Vision would take the Organzot perfectly. So there's the Madam Niagara down. You can see we've already burnt an Artisan's Soul for the sin of not being able to actually get our buffs up in time. What can you do? We literally popped in on top of a portal. Did get through the battle. Picked up some decent experience there, I think 5 overall. If we're looking at our status page, we've got 307 points to level 93. And that sounds like a pretty decent head start, but I could tell you, in this range, high-level fields are really only going to net you about 100 to 150, depending on the dungeon depth, on average. Obviously, if you go 10-level dungeon and there are portals everywhere, you've got a shot at cracking a couple hundred of them. But there's also the chance that the portals are filled with chests, and it's only a 2-floor dungeon, and you wind up getting like 35. These are actual realities. Now we've got our buffs up, just doing my typical speed boost, rig game and rig same, and we actually pulled, I believe it was Apkorma, magical attack up, which won't matter to us in the least, if the truth be told, because we're already at 99 and it can't buff past that, as far as I know. Just navigate to a quick Horvath ROM to finish off that Madam Niagara, and here comes another one around the corner. Really hoping for an elemental hit there. No good on those two, and as a water element Wavemaster, Orvakram is technically one of my weaker spells. But it being a ROM spell and everything, it actually hits rather effectively, both in consistency and damage. Just running into the Madam Niagaras like crazy here, and there you could see with the elemental hit, getting those solid 186s weaken that Madam Niagara rather swiftly. Not gonna lie, at this point, I kind of feel like switching weapons, so I think I will here. We'll switch from the Caduceus Rod to the Staff of Truth, reset our shortcuts here. L2 in Circle is going to end up being Yarthgan's Fa for our Earth attack. Rhynek Fa is going into the L2 Triangle slot, and that leaves Vulcan Fa for the L2 and X. Now we don't need an earth attack in L2 and square, so let's take a look at our available spells, and we've already got fire and darkness covered, so we'll go with Farai Cruise for L2 and square, a little light element single target attack. Astro Kings may be a bit of a problem for us. We may just end up running and doing a quick swap if we run into them. There's some Forma. Not quite sure what our magic defense is, but hey, anything helps when it comes to defense, even if it's just a morale boost. Big old elemental hit for 3,800, and you could see the Psyche Vision going down much quicker when we hit those, and much slower when we miss them. Here's some big footsteps coming in the background, and big footsteps usually mean armor generals, certainly not taking that risk with a solo Wavemaster. Sure enough, is an armor general, and while it's isolated, we'll just go ahead, chuck out a Farai Cruise because it'll hit fast, and just keep blasting away for 858 while keeping a safe perimeter. Also listening for any footsteps while we've got this in spell animation lock, because it can't really move all that well while we're casting on it, and if we hear anything thumping in the background, that means a second armor general. Consistent 858s take that down, and you could see all of that danger was for 3 experience. Still as good as it's going to get at this point, and it only gets lower from here. Keeping our hit points as high as humanly possible, and this is the nightmare. We have 2 armor generals, so we move to a spot where they're fairly close together. Had to squeeze between the trees there. And now we could just sort of ping-pong back and forth, but you could see from spam casting Vulcan, I have no SP pool left. Also, Rig Geem and Rig Sam have worn off. Now this has been an awful lot of dancing, and we're still not through the field. Just pointing that out. Clearly you want to go for a full clear here. 1, because it helps out the area server, gaining some precious experience, and 2, because you're trying to get experience yourself. Another treasure gives us a bit of natural time to replenish our SP, and more permafrost to sell when we get out of here. Once again, going to the point where the armor generals meet back up, and then we're going to spam cast Vulcan. You may wonder why Vulcan specifically. It's clearly not my best stat, and it's because it fires off quick. Inversely, you could do Rhynek and hold them in the longest casting animation, but that's not exactly where I am on a play style. I'd rather get that damage out quick when soloing. Just too many variables could hang you up otherwise. Yep. Got some Madame Niagara and Armor General combination happening there. And to make it worse, we had a Wandering Armor General that was coming our way just before we tripped the portal. See, there we've got the stun lock on with Rhynek, and we're going to go ahead and drop a Vulcan down, get all sorts of pretty pictures, and take considerable amount of the hit points off. Farai Cruise fails us there, but we're right at the turnaround point. So even though it misses twice in a row, you don't see that often, we still managed to finish it off in a bloodless encounter, which in all honesty is the only encounter we want to have with an armor general. Now we have a Madame Niagara, and we're just not effing around with this thing. Or Vakram, Madame Niagara, and hope for an elemental hit like that. Conserves our SP pool, and doesn't conserve the Madame Niagara. Now we still had a Wandering Armor General. Gonna grab a couple mushroom here and these 2 symbols while listening for the footsteps. Not gonna lie, I won't be sad to not face the thing, but I would rather encounter it so I know it's not wandering around as we go to clear the last bit. Certainly not going to spend the whole day on it. So it hasn't popped up, and I am off to the rest of the portals. If it pops up in the interim, my only hope is that I see it before I trip the portal again. Speaking of tripping portals, we got 3 armor generals right at the point the rig game times out. And what sounded like a Psyche Vision, because it was very much a Psyche Vision. Now we have to watch very carefully what we're attacking and when. I do believe we got the turnaround point of the armor generals, which is a boon to us. Allows me to focus on that Psyche Vision a little. Unfortunately, Psyche Vision's got some reach, so we don't want to be messing with that too much. A Farai Cruise will finish this armor general if it hits, and it does. Armor general number 2. Missed Vulcan, that's a bad start. See if we can get a quick cast in there, and there it is. Down goes the armor general. And we got some treasure on that one. More permafrost? Yep.
Mushroom.
It's weird. Normally you get a little more variety out of like level 92 and level 95 fields than 98, simply because of where it lands on the item table, as I've been told. This one, however, has been pretty consistent in giving us permafrost, which is going to sell decently, and I'm going to need to recoup some money after this anyway. For Madame Niagara's, that spells trouble, because if we go to sleep, we go to sleep forever. Generally, you don't worry about the status too much. Because Wavemasters are generally a bit well guarded against the statuses. But it is something you have to look out for. Also, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm going for Wavemaster, and we have Vulcan loaded up. Bet you can't tell which staff I typically main with when I solo. Picking up some quality 2 experience per pop on those, because they're only small enemies. They're also the most terrifying part of this board so far.
Mushroom.
Got one more portal to clear. Not messing around with the Spring of Mist at this point. May come back and revisit it at the end, but certainly not at the moment. Yeah, they go much quicker with the Vulcan. So I just need to remember I've already got a fire skill on hand. Now here I'm actually going to switch over to my Snaky Grunty to get to the dungeon, just in case there are any wandering monsters. Because it's free and it's faster, and it doesn't burn a speed charm for me. Just like that, we're through a field. We're through a level 95 field. Doing a bit better than the dead Grunty and the Mushroom here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Went into first person so you could see this. Yeah, little guy didn't do so well here. Have our moment of silence for it and move on. Now I keep pressing first person. Into the Nightmare Mushroom and the dungeon within. I'm gonna grab some coffee. Ah, caffeine. Rather intricate little layout here. A bunch of smaller rooms to start off this adventure. At least the dungeon leg of it. Taking a look at our status screen. Yeah, our magic defense is up to 70 with that buff, and we gained like 60 more experience through that whole field. Okay, we have a Psyche Vision. I jumped the gun with a quick Vulcan, because anytime you're sort of pressed against the door there, there's always the chance its armor general's coming out, and you just want that damage to hit as quick as possible. One elemental hit makes sure we can get rid of the Psyche Vision in one go, though, and that is a huge first step for us. Actually going to go ahead and clear out this bottom section first, because it gives me a couple rooms to explore. Even more permafrost. Curious. Pure water out of the one cadaver and out of the other. So good place for pure water, I guess. Yet more permafrost. We must be near the end of a line of the table here as well, as we keep just getting the same items. Now, I did intentionally take a little stall tactic there, so we actually got some natural SP regeneration to us. Boosted by Rig Game, of course. And now we're finally to our second portal of the floor. Got some Madame Niagaras, but this time I wasn't a giant dork and forgot that I had Vulcan. And we'll make some pretty quick work of these four. One went down on the initial cast, the right-hand two followed, and the fourth one was chump change. We took it out with a Farai cruise. 8 experience for that. We're lucky, they've gone pure damage so far. One thing this character can do is take a bit of damage for a Wavemaster. Still tissue paper on the physical defense, but 1700 hit points aren't nothing. Diablo Blades. We've picked up something that isn't a permafrost. I do believe that may be a Shining Darkness exclusive, though, on that item, so... Got more armor generals out here. Yeah, I know, I was using Vulcan on these guys, and I forgot on Madame Niagaras. Some days you just have those moments. Do believe that's a twin kill, which is fantastic, and we sneak out of here by virtue of woefully small portal counts without burning an Artisan's Soul on the first floor. That may not sound like much to you, but in the field alone, if you remember, we started this adventure with 90. We burned 6 just out in that field. And 8 healing elixirs. Doesn't sound like a whole ton, and it's not, but if this is a deeper dive, if you're doing 5 or 6 per floor, it's gonna add up. They're certainly not cheap to buy. Buffs have worn off, which is fine because I like to start every floor rebuffing anyway. That way the timer on them's reset and you got plenty of adventure in them. Plus, unless it's a custom dungeon, this first room here is relatively safe. Normally the stairs up, stairs down rooms are empty, though you do have to watch if it is a custom dungeon. You can put portals in them in the area server program. So if you hit a stairs up or stairs down room and you're greeted with combat, chances are someone did that to you on purpose. No elemental hits so far, in fact none whatsoever, and it takes our entire bar once again to take out the Psyche Vision. Grabbing more pure water here, and more permafrost. We've built back up to the point where we have a couple spells. And we'll take on the next portal, and it is another Psyche Vision, so lucky duck us, it's something that won't crush, kill, destroy. Just to get the most out of my Artisan's Soul, I'm going to throw a Farai Cruise out. And then this last Yarthkins for the kill. I think this is the first risky treasure we've encountered so far. More Diablo Blades. I may have had a risky treasure earlier now that I think about it, because that's the second Diablo Blades we got. Invisible Egg into the stash. And we could see a stairs down at the very bottom of the map, so we've got at least 3 floors here. Portal on the way back. Gonna give us more treasure. So floor 2 playing relatively nice with us. All kind of permafrost.
Invisible egg.
Madam Niagara, and yeah, I had a complete brain fart there, once again, as to Vulcan. Just every now and then, the synapses, they just don't fire. But I got there eventually, took a little damage in the process, but that was the last portal of the floor, and we are clear through to floor 3. Once again, just let that regen happen. Though, in all honesty, we could just heal. Having fall rep on hand, never a bad thing. Floor number 3 now. Already see a stairs down, so 4 floors of fun minimum. Also seeing a relatively safe start and or finish. Probably going to hold off on those 2 treasure rooms to the very end. At least for this floor. And see what else we got going on here. Breaking those jars for the pure water. I'm pretty sure this character doesn't have it maxed out. I think my Wavemaster does. Also can't remember if the pure waters at this point are worth anything in offline trade. I'll have to let you know. Obviously there are items. The question is whether or not the item is useful for me. Or to anyone else. If you know one of the items, just let me know. Maybe I'll go ahead and trade for it for you. Elemental hits, still a boon for us. As you could see, we got 2 there, and that was all it took for the Psyche Vision. And that's about the nicest possible outcome for us. We're just about back to full SP before we enter the next room. Madam Niagara and Armor General pairing. Fortunately, we hit the Madam Niagara first with a spell. And both are far enough away that this really wasn't much of a threat at all. Got the elemental hit on the Madam Niagara, so the numbers were pretty. And now we're using Farai Cruz for mana efficiency. Not that it's numerically more efficient than spamming summons, but honestly, with the little bit of time it takes for the repeated casts and the regen we're getting from Rig Game, we'll probably recoup more SP than we would just saving on big damage summons. Portal right in the middle of this hallway is going to give us more of the same. This time it auto-targets the Armor General, and we're going to have to shift over and take care of that Madam Niagara before it's a problem. Don't want any part of this Armor General, so we will triple Vulcan there and burn the Artisan's Soul. A little bit of risky business here, making sure we're up near full by the time we grab yet more Diablo Blades and yet more Permafrost. Now we have a little tiny dead-end hallway with a portal, so we're just going to spam Vulcan right out of the gate, and very glad I made that decision in time, because we have 3 Armor Generals, and if all 3 of them get in melee range, I can tell you this, we're not making it out with a level 93 Wavemaster. We're going back to town with a level 92. 2 of the Armor Generals go down, opening the way for the 3rd one to just get murked. That battle looked really, really good until you realized that it was game over if one of those front ones got into melee range, pretty much. Casting animations are a pain. And when you're locked in them, you can't do anything. You can't even pop a healing potion. So short room and 3 Armor Generals is the nightmare scenario more than most. Maybe the Armor General Madam Niagara combo just as potent for the chance that we get status affected. Because I can tell you this, if we get statused, if we get put to sleep, or paralyzed, and an armor general's nearby, there's definitely no coming back from that. Buffs once again wear off, and we're heading down to floor 4. Fairy's Orb here. Got a bit of a larger room to start out there. One of those rooms, the central sort of staging area where it widens out. A little bit of a hallway leading in, and a little bit of a hallway leading out to the right side. Neat little design there. Picking up more permafrost. And I hit the wrong button. Still going to do decent damage. Still going to make sure that Mana Niagara goes down. We actually did get the twin killing on the first actual Vulcan. But yeah, I was in a hurry and hit the wrong button. We see a room right down in the middle of the bottom portion of the map that looks like it may be a statue chest. So we'll have to explore the rest of this map here, look for dead ends. It's looking good so far. Looking very good so far. Yeah. 3 more portals, and we are through here. Now the question is, can we safely navigate those portals? Certainly not arguing with the permafrost and pure water. Let's see what we get out of this insert room. Treasure chest. Okay. This was a room I was going to use geography to our advantage, pop the portal, and then run back behind and hope the monster ran in here, where we could safely hit it with spells. But I'm not going to argue with the Diablo Blades and permafrost. That just means that our enemies are going to be in these last 2 sort of corridors. One is a dead-end corridor, and one is a little crescent-shaped room that's leading to the statue chest. Gonna reapply Rig Game and Rig Same, because I can. Here comes the portal, and that's gonna be another treasure chest. Getting lucky and unlucky at the same point, because while encounters at this level, especially while soloing, bend heavily to the lethal side if you're not careful, getting the treasures gives you no experience and gets you no further to your actual goal of advancement. So let's hope for something out of the last portal here. Let's also hope I can turn the right way. And we get our Armor General Madame Niagara combo. Fortunately, geography is to our advantage as the Armor General tucks itself away in the far corner of the room. Let's go ahead and have some fun with this thing. We'll throw all 3 summons at it. Rhynek is hitting. Yarthkin's just hit, and we'll finish up with a Vulcan as Rhynek deals its damage. That's all 3 summons in one. Now that, as I said, with the chests and everything, was a rather forgiving 4-floor dungeon for us. Let's go ahead and grab our treasure. Sublimer, a level 99 twin blade weapon, about what you'd expect out of a high level field. And a couple noble wines, again a Shining Darkness exclusive. Now, like I said, it was rather forgiving, but when we take a look at our status screen, we only got another 60 or so points here. So we got about 120 to 125 experience for all that work. Level 90's not a joke, and it's a blast once you get up to 99, but my goodness, is this something you really want to party up for. That said, that'll do it for this Wavemaster adventure. I do hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed making it. This has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. If you had the chance to play Fragment, feel free to let me know how it's going. Again, if you know anything that I could trade Pure Waters for, let me know and I might just track you down and get it for you. If you haven't played Fragment yet, give it a consideration. I've been playing for 2 years now and I could tell you, it's still fun. Take care. We'll see you around.